The Great Ziegfeld, directed by Robert Z. Leonard, won Best Picture in 1936. Yes, a 3-hour epic all about this man, Ziegfeld, who, a real person, is a real life biopic about this guy who did these dance shows. He put on these dance shows, variety acts, kind of, well, something like that. Anyway, that's how I felt through most of this film. Why this film needs to be 3 hours, I will never know. There is zero conflict for our main character. So yeah, we follow this guy, Ziegfeld, who is a likeable enough character. He's played by William Powell. And yeah, it shows us at the beginning of the film him kind of struggling to get started in the entertainment industry, and he has a bit of a bright spark, and then he's on his way, and then across the course of the film he has a dip where he's not doing quite as well as he was before, but then he comes back, and then he has another dip where he's not doing quite as well before, and he comes back. And also throughout the film we see the marriage he had to his first wife and how that failed, and how he seemingly didn't seem to care. Like, the film makes out that he loved his first wife, and yet here's my problem, you see. There's a lot of people in the making of this film apparently that had close ties with Ziegfeld, that were a part of his actual shows. And I feel like they let him off the hook a little bit too much. Marriages don't fail and then you just go on your way and you're still this charming, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't like the way they handle that. Now, obviously, I don't know the real story. This film is about as much as I know about this real life character, but just watching it, I watch how this story plays out between him and his first wife, and it doesn't ring true to me. It doesn't feel very realistic. The way she kind of almost makes the demand. It's either, it's like me or whatever, and he's like, okay, bye. And then that's it, and we see her crying and doing all this kind of business that actresses used to do, when and then they fall onto a bed and start crying into their elbow, and it's just, oh man. Obviously back then, I'm sure that would have been an emotional moment. Now it just looks like a parody of movies from this era. Like, you see where that parody comes from when you watch stuff like this. But yeah, I feel that's my biggest complaint, is they go too easy on him. They make him this really charming man, and at times where there should be conflict, like the stuff involving him and his wife, there is none. They set it up for some conflict, and then they just make a very quick decision and move on. So they're flitting through this guy's life, showing you snippets, and none of it's all that interesting, because it's just him being charming with various people, but without any conflict, zero conflict. Like, the moment any conflict starts to even rear its head, they just don't deal with it, or they move on to a song and dance number. And oh my goodness, are those song and dance numbers boring. Literally every single time they start singing and dancing in this, I check out. I check out big time. I'm gone. Like, I got halfway through one of the song and dance numbers in this, and I realised I wasn't even watching the screen. I was thinking about some equation in my head about, I don't even like maths. So the fact that this film sent me off to thinking about maths in my head is just, the song and dance numbers do not work. Like, I'm not down on musicals. There's quite a lot of musicals I like. Some musicals are actually my all-time favourite films. Singing in the Rain is an absolute blast. You look at some of the numbers in Singing in the Rain, some of the dance moves they're doing, they're incredible. You look at like stuff that Donald O'Connor's doing, it's incredible. Here, it's so boring. It's so boring. And a lot of this stuff was apparently lifted from Ziegfeld's actual stage shows. Because like I say, they got a lot of the people that were involved with his stage shows to come in and help with the movie. So if this is what his stage shows were like, entertainment back then was a different beast, man. I tell you, like if I'd have gone to a theatre and seen this, and a lot of these stage shows, when we see them, it's just this a flat kind of shot. There's no interesting stuff done with the camera. There's one particular number that's all done in one shot where it's the stage that's moving, and that's okay for about 30 seconds. But then when it goes on for like another 2-3 minutes, you're just like, it's dull. It's seriously dull. So yeah, how this won Best Picture, I don't know. William Powell's performance was likeable, but the character was just not well written. Bad choice by the Academy. I've got to think that money was changing hands, or bribes of some kind, for this to have won, because yeah, even for a film of this age, you know, I've seen films from this period, and in fact, I think Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, I may be wrong on that, but I think Mr. Deeds Goes to Town was released in 1936, and that's a fantastic film. Frank Capra, brilliant film, easily better than this. You know, right there you've got an Oscar. Again, like I say, could be wrong, but certainly it was of that period. So I know that, yeah, films of this period can be a bit dull by today's standards, but there were films made back then that still hold up. So yeah, either it was a really bad year for films for this to win, or it's just proof that even back then the Academy made really bad decisions. But am I wrong? What do you think? Have you even seen The Great Ziegfeld? Or does the age of this film just put you off altogether? Are you one of those people who can't watch anything before 1980? No judgment, that's fine. It's just, but yeah, if you have seen it, you know, if you're one of those people like me who's trying to make their way through all the Best Picture Oscar winners, even if it kills them, what did you think about it? Leave your comments down below. Thank you for watching this review, and until next time, cracking.